Hey guys, it's your old pal Matt here, and last time we talked about whole steps and half steps. You guys nailed it. This time we're going to talk about scales and how they're comprised of whole steps and half steps. What is a scale, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. A scale is a series of notes that adhere to a series of rules that create a tonality. But Matt, you say, what is this tonality you're talking about? I'm glad you asked about that too. So tonality is the character, the color, the flavor, if you will, of the chord, scale, or a song you're hearing that is characterized by the relationship between the notes that are being played. So, the first scale we're ever going to experience together is the C scale. The C scale is going to be a series of whole steps and half steps, and the formula is going to sound like this. Whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. That's it. Here is our note C. Our first whole step would be D. Our next whole step above D would be E. Our first half step would be F. Our next whole step would be G. Next is another whole step to A, another whole step to B, and our last half step to C. That first scale, that C scale we just did together, that's a C major scale. Now we have two fundamental tonalities, major and minor. Now usually when we think about major and minor, we think about happy and sad. Now, as this is the easiest way to think about major and minor, it's not always the case. Minor can be happy sometimes. Major can be less happy sometimes. But either way, major and minor will be the two fundamental tonalities we work with. Now, the whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half pattern is the major scale formula. If you start on any note, black or white, on the keyboard and use that formula, you will always play a major scale. Starting on D scale, first note would be D, our first whole step is E, our next whole step is F sharp, our next half step is G, our next whole step is A, our next whole step is B, our next whole step is C sharp, and lastly, our half step to D, and we're done. Now, just the way we have major and minor scales, we also have major and minor intervals. So with a whole step, that would be major, and a half step, that would be minor. Now we're going to get more into this in our next lesson. Look forward to seeing you there. Bye!